Hey guys, I'm currently in Taiwan right now, so I don't really have a YouTube setup, but hopefully you can bear with this. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can create a marketing plan from scratch. A marketing plan is a plan to market your company and your services to your customers at scale. It's a little different from a go-to-market plan in that it's more strategic and it covers a longer time frame between 3 months and 6 months. A go-to-market plan, on the other hand, is more focused on marketing a specific product or asset. A marketing plan should focus on doing two things. One, it should give your stakeholders a high-level overview of how you want to do marketing. And secondly, it should help you prioritize what are the most important marketing levers that you can pull to drive the most impact. The marketing plan should cover 1, who your customers are, what their customer journey looks like. 2, your marketing strategy. This includes your existing marketing channels, your marketing approach, your assumptions, and the main levers that you want to pull. And finally, execution, which includes priorities for that quarter, your KPIs, and the resources that you need to deliver on the plan. So for today's exercise, I'll be using a startup accelerator based in Southeast Asia as my example. Their goal is to get as many startup founders to apply to the startup accelerator as possible so they can increase the likelihood of finding a startup founder that would generate positive ROI for their investors. You can think of them as Y Combinator, but they're based in Southeast Asia. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and open up Google Docs and walk you through how I would create a marketing plan for the startup accelerator. We have Google Docs open. Let's build our marketing plan. We'll call this Startup Incubator Marketing Plan, and then we'll call this Startup Accelerator Accelerate X. The first thing that we're gonna do is list out the timeline and target goal. So the timeline here would be 3 months, and then the target goal would be 1,000 applications. The target audience would be the next thing that we want to list out. The target audience here are aspiring founders. I think there are 3 types of aspiring founders. One is entrepreneurial college students. The second is early to mid-career professionals. To be more specific, we'll call them early to mid-career corporate professionals. And then finally, we have unemployed and gap year professionals. These are the 3 buckets of aspiring founders. Let's go ahead and list out their pain points, desires, and interests. So for entrepreneurial college students, they really don't like structure. So they might not even like school or the idea of working a 9-to-5 corporate job afterwards. They want to build and create stuff, and they are interested in startups. So that is the first group. The second group are early to mid-career professionals. They're tired of the 9-to-5 grind. They want to build something and be their own boss. So a little different from college students. What they're looking for is to be independent and work on their own business. They're interested in working on side projects, then transitioning full-time. They might still value the financial stability of the job, but they're interested in working on side projects and then potentially turning those side projects into full-time businesses. And finally, the unemployed and gap year professionals. These are people who are already dabbling in projects. They need support and resources to get to the next level, and they might be interested in funding. These could be people who are taking break in between work, or people who got laid off from work and they're just working on their own thing. Their main pain point is finance. They want to be able to raise money and pursue what is it that they want to do. Next, let's go ahead and list out the customer journey from the founder's perspective. This is important because as a product marketer, you need to put yourself in the shoes of the customer and understand their full journey and where your solution might play a role. So the first thing is they're not happy with their current situation, and because of that, they want to be their own boss and build something. From there, they might say, okay, I want to do some research, and the way that they're going to learn more is by watching YouTube videos and reading articles. Then after doing research and self-education, they're now inspired. After they get inspired, they want to find a problem space and build a prototype. From there, they might find that there's a mismatch in what they're trying to build and their skill set. For example, they might be more business focused and they want to find a technical co-founder. So in this case, they might be thinking, I need to find someone to work on the prototype with. They might check out some entrepreneur events to network and find their co-founder. Once they found their team, they will want to work on this full-time because they feel like they have the confidence of knowing what problem to solve and what the team skills they currently have to be able to solve that. And I'm going to apply to a startup accelerator and get funding. This is their customer journey from inception to decision. First, they have the pain point of not being happy with their current situation, whether that's in school, corporate 9 to 5, or just not being able to earn income. The second is their escape or solution, which is I want to be my own boss and build something. And then the next stage after that is research and education. A lot of this is finding out if the startup route is for them. And then if they feel like it is for them, then we reach inspiration and action. So this is when they're invested in going down this path. We have team formation and networking. So this is the part where they start getting serious about building a team and trying to find people to work with. Finally, they have decision, which is I'm gonna go ahead and start a startup. This is where Accelerate X comes in, which is providing the startup with resources and guidance. Once we've understood the target audience and customer journey, we want to list out our existing marketing channels. Let's say that Accelerate X has a YouTube channel and we have 1,000 subscribers. And then let's say we have a prominent venture capital partner and he has a LinkedIn page with 12,000 followers. And we also have our company LinkedIn with 7,000 followers. And then finally, we have an email list of 6,000 subscribers. For each of these, we can take a guess at who are these subscribers or followers. So for YouTube, I think these are people who are interested in entrepreneurship. For VC, they're interested in partners POV, which is point of view, and they are interested in networking with the venture capitalist. And then we have the company LinkedIn. These people who follow us are interested in jobs and opportunities. And finally, we have our email list, which I think is the most impactful. These are people who are very interested in entrepreneurship. From here, we'll list out what's our marketing approach. I have 3 principles. So the first principle is optimize what's worked well in the past. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. The second thing is stop what hasn't worked well. And then the third thing is test new potential channels. Next, we'll list out marketing assumptions. So these are just assumptions that we can make based on our existing channels. One assumption I'm going to make is that content and emails are the main drivers for applications. I think people are interested in educational content and give us their emails when they feel like they get value from us. And then it is through the emails that we're able to convert them into applications. The second assumption I'm going to make is that we haven't experimented much with influencers and community collabs. The third assumption is that people apply last minute. People want to be the most ready when they apply. They want to make sure they have everything in their application, and hence they try to delay and apply at the deadline. Now that we have the marketing approach, assumptions, and channels, we can connect the dots. Let's go ahead and list out our marketing levers. The levers are marketing channels that we want to leverage to drive applications. I think the big ones are going to be content and email. The next one would be influencer and community collabs. The last one would be the application structure. When it comes to content, video is very powerful because it's the most engaging format, and especially short form video as well as long form interview style videos. The first one I can think of is create videos that educate and entertain. One is we can do street interviews, and another one would be starter stories. We can have street interviews with founders and investors. So these will be fun, walking side by side with founders and investors on what makes a startup successful. With starter stories, I think it could be fun and relatable startup stories which resonate with a specific founder persona. So for example, a CS dropout with $100 in bank to $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Street interviews, these will be short form vertical videos, and starter stories, which are more long form videos. The main element is that we're not only educating but also entertaining. Through street interviews, it'll be more engaging when you have two people walk side by side and then you have the interview going on. And then with the starter stories, this is a great way to be more specific and talking about your founders that resonates with one of the three groups that we outlined here. The next thing is to create email drip campaigns that specifically either remove blockers or encourage buyers to action. What do I mean by removing blockers is because I think when startup founders apply, they have some imposter syndrome. So we want to address those concerns. And then secondly, encourage buyers to action. We want to empower them to apply so that they apply versus not even applying because they're scared. So there's two ways to do this. First, we can think about doing startup myths. So this could be an email series on the most common misconceptions about startups that's preventing people from applying. So one myth could be that you absolutely need a co-founder to apply to a startup accelerator. We can share examples of successful solo founders or solo founders who found co-founders later on. That could be a myth. Hey, I need a co-founder. If I don't have one, I shouldn't apply. But what we can do is say, hey, there are people who started startups alone, did a great job, or maybe people who started startups alone initially, and then they found a co-founder later on. And this should not be preventing you from applying to our startup accelerator. That is one example. The next email drip campaign could be a startup challenge. And this could be a 7-day challenge for the email subscribers to build a prototype, validate the idea, and then the call to action would be to share their findings and apply to Accelerate X. We can position this as like a pre-application bootcamp. Before you even apply to Startup Accelerator, we invite you to do this challenge and see if this is something that you would want to do full time. And as part of this, we can also include a founder quiz to help them better understand what kind of founders they are and what kind of problems they should be trying to solve for. This would also help them save time going after bad ideas. This is what I think could be the most impactful on the email and content side. Street interviews, starter stories, videos, and then startup myths and challenge, email drip campaigns. For influencer and community collabs, there's two things we can do here. We can partner with lifestyle or career influencers. The other is collaborate with university and business type communities. The reason I said lifestyle is because there's more reach and career is more specific. We can invite the influencer to share how they built their business, and our platform could be YouTube or LinkedIn. I think many of the same concepts would apply to startups because influencers also have to think about growth, marketing, monetization. Next, we can think about partnerships. Once we've invited them, we can ask the influencers to plug Accelerate X in their videos because we've built a relationship, right? The key part here is we want to build a relationship first by inviting them on our platform, and then we make the ask, which is we want to ask them to plug Accelerate X in their videos. We can even have them share referral links with their followers. We would pay them based on every app referral. We can also have our venture capitalist offer to go on their channel to provide content value to their audience. this would give us more exposure. That's how I would approach collabs with influencers. Next is how can we collaborate with university and business tech communities? We can do community plugs. We can do this by creating a brand ambassador program where ambassadors learn, then share with their communities. We can offer a small fixed monthly amount or a number of mentions on social plus a referral bonus for each app. We can find the people who hold positions of leadership, offer them the opportunity to learn about Accelerate X and become a brand ambassador. We can pay them a monthly amount to mention us on their social, and we can pay them for every single application referral. The final thing is virtual events. So we can say co-host Zoom workshop events with the above organizations. We can also do one super day event with speakers in the morning and networking in the afternoon. Actually, why don't we just say live event, virtual event? We can co-host an educational workshop event and rely on the organizations to bring traffic, and then we will provide the content value. That is pretty much it for collaborations. The next step is application structure. People apply last minute, and this is the case with colleges as well. Many people apply last minute because they feel like they're not ready yet. So what we can do here is we can encourage early applications. We have an early app deadline and a regular deadline. And then we can message the early app deadline as a preliminary deadline, where if people don't get in, they get moved to the regular deadline. This way, people don't feel like they're sacrificing their potential by applying to the early deadline. Instead, we can just say the early deadline is an additional pass that you can get if you want to see how you stack up in terms of your application strength. This way, we encourage people to take action, apply earlier, and if they don't get in, they can get feedback on how they can improve their application to hopefully get in during the regular deadline. We can also better anticipate how many apps we're gonna get versus waiting until last minute. Now I have a fairly complete initial marketing plan, which highlights the plan of action for the next 3 months to achieve the most important marketing KPI, which is 1,000 applications in 3 months. We have our target audience. We have the 3 different personas. We mapped out the customer journey from inception to decision. We know what our existing marketing channels are. We have a clear marketing strategy. We have marketing assumptions. With our marketing levers, there's content and email, influencer and community collabs, and application structure. We have quite a few things that we would want to do, like street interviews, starter stories, email drip campaigns, influencer collabs, community collabs, and application structure. These are all marketing levers that we can pull to drive the applications. The next step would be to map these levers back to the customer journey. So this way we can see where the levers fall in context of the customer journey. From there, we can prioritize what we think are the most impactful projects that we want to accomplish for that quarter. Because obviously it'll be hard to do all of these in 3 months. So we want to prioritize the most impactful ones. And finally, we would list out the metrics, deliverables, and the marketing support needed. And if you want to see the full marketing plan, check it out on pmmschool.com, where I share more in-depth tutorials on how you can do product marketing in the workplace. So there you have it. That's how you can create a marketing plan from scratch. If you want to see the full marketing plan, check out the Product Marketing School at pmmschool.com. And if you found value from this video, please make sure to give it a like and let me know in the comments below on what other types of content you want to see. Till next time, see you.